And we are back for another week of, I guess, in a way, hot topics. It's been a pretty active and viable week. Gentlemen, welcome back. Viewers, welcome back. We are happy to have you here. Join us, Five Guys on Live. Let us know who you are, guys. What really makes this a broadcast is a little bit different than the other broadcasts that you may catch on YouTube or Facebook or even Instagram Live, is that you are able to join us and engage with us and really delve into these topics through communicating with us. So we want you to, right off the bat, tell us who you are, tell us where you are, tell us your thoughts on the topics. We have a full show agenda. Let's jump right into it, starting off with the verses that happened last week. Who watched it go down between Bobby Brown and Keith Sweat? Who watched?
I did.
CJ, tell us about it. Hey, Rhonda, while we let CJ take it away.
So anyone knows, of course, I'm a music head, so I love music, and these two legends and icons definitely came to battle for the verses, and it really was a fun night. Keith Sweat was definitely lit and drunk. Bobby Brown was definitely having fun as well, and they definitely celebrated each other and enjoyed each other. I think it was a great versus. I do believe Bobby Brown did win. I like how they engaged with the audience. They just had a really good time. I think it was, a really fun, just two legends, two icons celebrating music and having a good time. And I enjoyed it very much.
Wait, hold up. I need to know this right off the bat before we say anything, because I'm getting ready to go and get my iPhone charged in a moment. So I'm about to get up and go. But I'm going to readjust my camera first before I say this, because I want this to be seen and heard. Did you just call Bobby Brown and Keith Sweat icons?
Yes.
Number one, you did. But did you not just, wait a minute. Did you not just last week say Beyonce wasn't an icon?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I said she was legendary, not icon. They also been out longer than the Beyonce. I'm sorry.
Child by gone. Okay, next caller. I mean,
I'm entitled to my opinion, okay, and I said what I said.
Yes, you are. Your opinion matters.
Right. So, I mean, I stand by what I said. I said Beyonce is not an icon yet. She is
okay.
Bobby Brown, and you cannot put Bobby Brown and you cannot put Keith Sweat in the same category as Beyonce. They've been out longer than Beyonce, and they have.
You're right. You're right. You can't put them in the same category. Beyonce is much more accomplished than they are. Much more accomplished.
Okay.
And the only person that Beyonce could go on a versus with is Beyonce. Beyonce versus Sasha Fierce, or
Dead or alive. I don't. I do believe there's some people who are resting peacefully that can definitely go against Beyonce, for sure.
They have to be alive to attend a versus.
What I said, dead or alive. No shit alive. Well, he wasn't listening. I said there are some people that are passed away that could go against Beyonce if they were alive.
No, they can't go against Beyonce. They're not here.
If they were alive, I said if they were alive.
Right.
Okay. Why they can't go against the theirs? Because all they doing is playing background music that they not really. Most of them not singing live.
Thank you. I remember the words of their own songs.
What was that?
Y'all gonna fly in the hologram people to do the hologram?
I mean, they did it before, and I'm just saying to go off of what Zachary's saying. Half of the people don't even know their own songs, so you might as well just listen to the track.
Beyonce will know her songs. It's okay.
Okay, because she wrote them, right?
Because she what?
She wrote them, right?
I never said whether she wrote it or not. She gives credit to all of the writers on her project. So if you need to look that up, you can.
Well, we're not talking about Beyonce. We're definitely talking about the verses between Keith Sweat and Bobby Brown. Well, the question was, did anybody watch it?
Unfortunately, CJ, no one watched it.
Okay.
So I tuned in and out, and it didn't keep my attention. I mean, I like their music. But the one little part I did see was good, seeing like Bobby Brown's son dance to his music, and that was cute. But other than that, it was just like, okay.
And I will say this, to know that how Bobby Brown, his spirit and everything he's been through, for him to be up there celebrating his music. I mean, come on now. He lost his wife. He lost his daughter. I mean, he's been through a lot, drug addiction. So, he's been through a lot. So for him to be there and, being able to celebrate his music, having a good time, I'm
still here.
But I don't think they widely marketed this versus.
That they didn't. Yeah, they didn't market it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to say. It sort of snuck up on me because I think I do a good job at least knowing when the versus battles are coming up and trying to tune in. But I think that just the versus world was just or the versus universe was still trying to recover from the Bow Wow and Soulja Boy versus, which is I did tune into that, and that was the most entertaining versus thus far, in my personal opinion. Like, it was sheer hilarity. The Keith Sweat and Bobby Brown versus really just came out of nowhere. I know they sort of did it for the sake of the Essence Music Festival and their virtual edition that they were doing, which I think it was a good addition for them to add. But one thing I did think about the versus, I guess, brand event in its totality, what made versus so special and unique and even viral was the fact that they launched it in the midst of the quarantine. So everybody was at home watching it. That's why Brandy and Monica were able to get those 1 million viewers. And, Gladys and Patty did so well. DMX and Alicia and, Snoop and Rick Ross, they were able to do great because everybody was at home. Now that everybody is back out, I think they have to launch some more mainstream marketing efforts to make people want to stay home and watch it or tune in while they're out and about doing whatever they're doing during the day. I know Zach brought a very valid point. Like, some of these versus battles happen at the most random times, like Wednesday nights and Saturday afternoons, and it's like,
I agree with you on that, Vince. I agree with you, and I do think that because now the world is transitioning back into some type of normalcy, I think they're going to keep the verses alive. Maybe they should do some kind of versus concert where people actually come as a concert show, and people can celebrate the music and enjoy a concert. Since so many people do love concerts.
I want to know from our viewers: did any of you watch the versus battle? I feel as though this was one of the most thrown together opportunities. It was poorly. I didn't even know what was happening. It did seem very sporadic. You both mentioned, or someone mentioned, I heard the tail end of it as I went to get my iPhone charger, about drug addiction and drug use. That really dovetails really well into our next topic, and to me, one of the biggest controversies of the last week, and that is a controversy of track star Shikari Richardson being banned for 30 days from track and field, which includes what would have been possibly a gold medal feat in the 100-meter or the 100-yard dash. She will not be allowed to participate in that. She is banned for 30 days. Gentlemen, just viewers in general, do we have any opinions about Sha'Carri Richardson and this ban in the Olympics before I give you, my opinion on one of the topics that we picked?
Yeah, I don't think that she should be banned. Knowing the story and knowing everything that happened and everything that she's dealing with, I actually watched her interview on USA Today that she did, and not only is she dealing with things, this will go into her mental, but she just found out that she lost her biological mother 2 days prior to her track. She said she knew what she did what was wrong, but however, she did smoke, or take the marijuana in a state that is legalized. So, and I feel like this is not like a hard narcotic or something like that. So to me, I just feel like they're just making so much more out of it, and just being where she is and knowing her story, knowing what she's going through, and for her mental stake, I don't think that they should ban her personally. And probably in her mind, she was probably thinking, hey, I'm smoking in a state that's legal, so if I get a drug test, like nothing's going to happen. I think, even though she's saying she knows she's wrong, I'm just thinking I'm playing devil's advocate. Maybe she was thinking that, like, if I smoke and I'm in a state that's legal, then maybe I might get away with it. I don't know.
No, CJ, you can't use that as no excuse when you know the rules.
Well, I'm not saying that that's as an excuse. I'm saying, playing devil's advocate, maybe that's how she was thinking it, is that, if she's doing it somewhere legal, then it's okay. I don't know. Nevertheless, she knows it was wrong. But to say that she's banned permanently, I think that's a stretch, honestly.
It's only 30 days.
I kind of feel bad for her and her story, honestly.
I feel bad for her story, but we all have a story, and we know the consequences that happens when you break the rules. And so I think she should be held accountable for breaking the rules, knowing the rules. And I think we could have used another outlet to talk about grieving and how we should grieve. But I'm not one to pick and choose how people should grieve, but I'm saying, like, there should have been another way if this is going to affect you professionally. And I know I talked to the guys on Friday, and I was talking about, do we think this affects her as a role model. And some people disagree with me, but I'm not gonna.
As you see, Valerie, a good friend of mine and a co-founder of the Our ATL project that I'm working on, is in full agreement with you, Zach. She fully agrees. I mean, again, she's like, it's the rule. Where she smoked has nothing to do with the rule.
No,
she
and I
to whom much is given, much is deserved.
I agree with Valerie. What I was saying was, I said I was playing devil's advocate, thinking just potentially how she was thinking. I don't know how she was thinking. I'm just saying maybe she was thinking that way. I totally agree. It doesn't matter where you smoke it. The rules to the rules. I'm just saying maybe she had thought that randomly. I don't know what she was thinking.
You know what, CJ? I don't think that she was thinking at all. I think that she was just in a low moment, maybe in a very emotional point, and she just needed to cope. And I feel that, it's been all of us saying, let the girl run, let the girl run. This ban is unfair. It's not right. They need to, it's a racial thing. We're the ones who've been saying all of this. She's not said any of that. She acknowledges that what she did was wrong. She acknowledged that, she did something that was against the rule, and she acknowledged that she's going to have to face the consequences. And honestly, 30 days is just a slap on the wrist. My big thing is that we need to not ask for exceptions, but look at the rule, really think about if this is really a rule that still needs to be in place. Marijuana, unlike a lot of drugs, it's not a performance enhancing drug.
Yes, and it so is. Yes, it is. Darius, yes, it is. Science. So there are.
Where did you get this from?
Let me tell you what. Wait a minute.
Yeah, she did. She must do some research this week.
Let me give you some information before you guys get overly excited, because I know we defend this marijuana to the death, and that's okay.
Let us know the facts.
Here's some facts. As you guys know, I am a recreational runner. I ran the Peachtree Road race yesterday. Let me finish, please. Let me finish. I literally run with people that use cannabis to run faster and better. It's called Run 420. You can look up hashtag Run 420. It's a huge hashtag in the race world. It trends all the time. People smoke strands of, is it stevia? I'm not sure the difference, whatever. It's a type of marijuana that you can smoke that makes you run faster and have none of the aches and pains that come along with running. So this is something that is very well known in the recreational running community. So yes, you have some strands of marijuana that's going to bring you down, but you have some strands of marijuana that brings you up. And those mood lifting strands of marijuana most certainly enhance performance.
Well, this is the first I'm hearing of it.
I need to see the science.
It's called Google.
On the call
because Run 420 could be a hashtag for anything. Running high.
I want to see the science, and the only science that I've ever heard about marijuana is that it makes you lazy.
It's a downer.
Right, it slows you down. Like you don't want to do.
Research right now. Find the science for a sec. I know you'll do that, but back to the point. I think that you do have to have measures in place so that people don't use steroids and things of that sort to help them perform better. However, it is not a widely researched or proven fact that marijuana is a performance-enhancing drug.
Facts.
Okay, so according to the World Anti-Doping Agency and the USADA, label cannabis as a banned substance as it poses a health risk to athletes and has the potential to enhance performance and violates the spirit of sport. So even if it does not, again, enhance their activity, it does pose risk to go against their activity, if you will. So it's two sides that you have to look at it. Two, as I look at the entire global scale, there is only 5 countries that have legalized marijuana: Canada, Mexico, Peru, South Africa, some country in the Pacific Ocean, and this little small country over there by India. That is not that ain't even 10% of all the countries that are competing in the Olympics. And so for me, looking at this entire subject or topic, if you will, I always look at it from a vast, grander perspective. This literally shows just how intellectually dishonest, I might have to say, that some people in our community are, because we can't force the Olympics to create rules based off of what's legalized in the states. California is not the only state or country, quote unquote, that's running. You got to look at the entire global scale, if you will. And so when I kept seeing that on my timeline too. Well, because she was smoking in a legalized state, that should make it right for her to compete internationally. No, it don't work like that. But then the same people saying that, they're saying hashtag rules are rules. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, if we gonna stick to one thing, let's just stick to what it is. Rules are rules. She broke the rules. Just like Zach said, the girl is being forthright. The girl is being honest. The girl is being accountable.
That was me that said that.
Yeah, well, whoever said it, that's
Okay.
cool. Being honest. No, but Zach just said it too. You may have said it Friday, but he literally just said it. But at the same time,
I just said it 2 minutes ago. That was me, Zach.
But at the same time, regardless, the rules are rules. She broke the rules. She's being honest about it. We trying to create a narrative that is false. We trying to create a narrative because we haven't done our due diligence and making sure that the science that you need to see has been there for forever. But because we want to be headline mainstream topic winners and assume off of what hearsay say, then we sit up here looking like we're eggs on our face at the end of the day. You get what I'm saying? So I really need us just to dive, even with that Michael Phelps situation. Y'all let Michael Phelps swim with it. Bro, that situation happened a year after the Olympics in 2008. That weed picture that he took was in 2009, but all the black people, it's racial. They let Michael Phelps swim in 2000. What are you talking about? Don't nobody want to do their research. They just want to hop on the bandwagon, throw the race card out, shut up. Get educated.
And back to in terms of being educated, and speaking about being educated, it's interesting that you mentioned like doing your research. Like, first of all, the Doping Association talks about the 3 criteria that a drug needs to be considered performance enhancing. Steroids enhance they enhance muscles and things like that, so they will help you perform better. They're saying that weed is considered performance enhancing because it might help improve your vision, or it might release your anxiety or your stress, or it might, what else did it say? These are things that, or it might help you to have less aches. There are lots of drugs that do all of those things, and those aren't things that are being considered performance enhancing.
So what about
they are. When you look at the medications, like even some anti-inflammatory medications are on the list of banned substances. It is you said what is?
Is Tylenol on there?
I'm not certain. I don't know that.
Okay.
But I will say this, and I want to correct myself. The hashtag is hashtag 420fitness, because I had to go to a runner who actually informed me of this, because I'm like, wait, all y'all smoke weed and then run? And so I went to that person's page to help me understand, because I was like, well, shoot, like, what is the strand of weed that's going to make me not be hungry so I can sit up here and lose some weight? But I didn't find any answers. I think that, and I want to go on record as saying that I am no fan of the Tokyo Olympics. I'm no fan of the International Olympic Committee. I literally want Black people in America, including athletes, to simply not participate in this year's Olympics. I feel as though a lot of things being done by the International Olympic Committee are anti-Black. But with that being said, Vince, and let me give you some evidence. I'm talking about not being allowed to represent your political beliefs around Black Lives Matter. To me, that is a strike against a community. The fact that they have specifically called out a certain type of swimwear that is protective of Black women's hairstyles, and then came back and said that we don't have any elite runners who this will affect, that to me also indicates a level of target towards the Black community. When we are the community, however, that makes the Olympics worth watching. Our athletes are, if they didn't participate, you wouldn't have Olympics in the United States that would be well watched. And if the United States doesn't watch and make a big deal, so too the rest of the world will follow. I say all that to say it still does not negate the fact that I really wish Shikari Richardson would have been able to think through the ramifications of this decision. I don't want to see her not receive the multi-million-dollar endorsement deals that can change the trajectory of her life because of
still got to deal with Nike.
Well,
but here's the thing, when you receive a gold medal at the Olympics, you only get, I think it's either $25,000 or $15,000. I want to say I think it's $20,000 for gold, $15,000 for silver, $10,000 for bronze. But the endorsement deals are what's going to make a big deal. But many of the, a one-time Nike deal is awesome, but this could have been a lifelong situation of where she could have continuously gotten sponsorships from things like Disney, from things like Gatorade. We've seen that.
I don't think so, because Zach, as I mentioned to you before, there are some other things that have surfaced about her. With
I'm
the homophobic
saying that.
tweet about
I'm saying she's not going to have any of those opportunities anymore, and that makes me sad for her. I really like her as a person, despite what happened.
You think so? You think she ain't gonna get no more endorsements and not be successful after this anymore?
I think this is going to significantly hurt her career trajectory. I also think that sometimes we don't understand, when you are an athlete, you have a moment in time to be that athlete. Being an athlete isn't a lifelong career. It's a moment in your life, because your performance will decrease over time with age. We have aged, and we are not the men we were at 18. And so too will.
Speak for yourself. I'm not that far from 18.
I mean, everybody ain't knocking on 50.
Right.
I'm more concerned with the other things. Did you pull up any of those things, Zach?
I did not bring those things to this conversation because that's not the topic we picked into. I don't think that they're relevant to the discussion.
It needs to be a separate conversation. I said that a few weeks ago. I said that a few weeks. Hold on, Zach. I said that a few weeks ago that two things need to be separate conversations. And y'all bit my head off. But okay, proceed.
No, Zach Thomas, why don't you tell us about the issue at hand for our viewers who may not be aware?
So, and recent light has been shined on some other recent lights have been shined on Shikari Richardson with some tweets that popped up. One talking about homophobia, saying if you support Lil Nas X, then you need to delete me and unfollow me because I don't believe in that. And then also another one from 2019 where a lady was talking about the Rihanna and Chris Brown situation and supporting him. And she was like, oh my gosh, shut up. Women like you are annoying. None of us are perfect. People make mistakes. He made years ago and he dubbed back, it's not right for anyone to put their hands on another person, but it's a mistake. And so a lot of people are wanting to cancel her altogether.
You know what? Yes, they do, Zach. But let me tell you why. I'm gonna be honest with you, Darius. I didn't bring this up because I really didn't want to talk about it too much. And I'm just gonna be honest and give my individual opinion. Number one, Shikari Richardson. I had a baby named Shikari Frazier. So Shikari, if you're watching, I love you. She's now Dr. Frazier. She's one of my best students I've ever taught. The first doctor I actually ever taught to become a doctor. So here's the thing. Sha'Carri Richardson was a 15, 14-year-old girl when she made some of those homophobic tweets. Now, as an adult woman, Shikari Frazier is a lesbian. I think that we have all met people in life who have been in situations where the pressure of society forces them to hide themselves and literally makes them homophobic before they can find the freedom and the courage.
You can be gay and homophobic too, Zach. You can be gay and homophobic. You can be black and also racist against your own. It's like so. Not saying that it's not possible.
That is true. And I will say that, you know what? That is true. That's true. But what I'm saying, and I feel in Shikari's case, she was probably trying to hide her sexuality and hide it behind homophobic language because of the pressure she was facing from society, especially in the Black community. Additionally, I feel as though some of the things that she said, again, we have to give her that grace, in my opinion. And I'm going to be honest with you, the fact that she is a lesbian, in my opinion, to me, makes the tweets not as offensive.
Are you talking about giving somebody grace?
Here we go with that grace. Here we go.
And you're one of the biggest ones.
The word that I used was
Zach will cancel someone in a heartbeat.
Right, for breathing wrong.
Shikari Richardson.
I'm not ready to cancel Shikari either.
Right.
And my point, first of all, going back, I mean, I don't really play into this "she was a child" rhetoric because children are hurting other children as well with their homophobia, and so the implication or the suggestion is that because she was a child, it somehow absolved her from what she did. So I don't agree with the whole she was a child thing. However, I do agree with Zach that you should, extend grace, especially in situations where people may not have even come into themselves fully at that point. And so I do agree with you. However, I do feel like it is important for us to have well-rounded discussions on this show. And it was brought to my attention by a few of the viewers, and I got a couple of text messages just a moment ago to just wondering what our perspective was on it. And at the end of the day, it is going to be a hurdle that she will have to jump over, and that was not intentional. The track reference, anyway. But
so when we talk about forgiving people, are we ready to do like Felicia Rashad and forgive Bill Cosby?
No.
Darius, tell us about it.
Bill Cosby was released from prison. The serial rapist and serial drugger, and this is not alleged. This is things that he confessed to. He was released on a technicality by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court for his sexual assault conviction. From my understanding, they used a testimony from him that was previously settled in a financial way. And so, and because they did that, he was let out on this technicality. And so my question to you guys is, number one, do we agree with the decision being overturned? And then number two, how should we accept Bill Cosby as a society today?
I mean, I don't think
this is, what do you think here? What?
I really don't think we have a choice to accept it. I mean, the law is the law. And if
I'm talking about Bill Cosby. How do we accept him? Do we embrace him? Do we celebrate this? Do we distance ourselves? What do we do?
So I'm always in a position to believe the women. I think you called it right on the Monday, Darius, when you said the serial rapist, right off the cuff. And even in the midst of him being in jail and being released or what have you, he still has had this super controversial title stamp that will be permanently indebted on his forehead about him just, drugging people and so on and so forth. So in spite of him being released or not, his unfortunately, I want to say unfortunately, his character is tainted. And he's going to live with that until, his last breath here on earth, regardless if he goes back to prison or not. His character is permanently tainted. Will he receive work? I don't know. Does he even really want to work after that? I don't know. But I do think that, well, one thing that I did find interesting, there's some blog that I follow. It has a lot of viewers. I forgot what it was called. They did like a poll on the Insta story on the date that he was released. And one poll was like, should he go back to prison? And then the other side was like, are you excited that he should be out? And to my surprise, it was like 64% wanted him to go back, but then like 58% were excited that he was out. So whatever the numbers are, it was still, you get what I'm saying, Darius? It was just shocking to me that it was an overwhelming amount of people that supported him being released. So at the end of the day, going to the Felicia Rashad perspective, there's always, two sides of the story. And though the vast majority of us, we believe women and we want to hold all serial rapists accountable. No one should disrespect anybody, let alone women or what have you. There's still some people that are ready to see the Cosby Show come back on TV One and will support Bill Cosby to their last days on earth too. So, it's interesting.
You're absolutely right, Vince. And I do believe that justice should be served in all, senses. As if there was an issue legitimately with the case that resulted in him being out of prison, then that's the law. And once again, I always defer back. Maybe we need to look at the laws. We need to look at the rules. But in that case, if that was the consensus, then that was consensus. I do take issue with Felicia Rashad's tweet. And apparently other people took issue with it as well, including herself because she deleted it, including Howard University also taking a strong stance against the tweet that she let out. I just felt that it was respectful. And the Black Aunt Viv, well, both of them were black. Never mind. The dark skin.
Janet Hubert.
I'm just giving people perspective so they know exactly who you're talking about if they don't. But anyway, she also took issue with it. I feel that it was irresponsible on her behalf.
Do we feel as though Felicia Rashad should, do you feel as though she should leave, that Howard should release her, as some students are calling for?
I think that's a sticky situation, because now where a lot of organizations, companies, nonprofit, for-profit, universities are kind of putting censorship on people as it pertains to social media. So now your social media is now affecting your position at an institution when it probably shouldn't. I don't think Felicia Rashad in any way was trying to be malicious to any victims. I think she was only trying to support a friend that she has known in a different light. And so I don't think she should be canceled. I don't think she should lose her job. But I do think she needs to go through some training, such as what they mentioned they're going to do for her at Howard, take her through some sensitivity training. But I know we want to be quick to point a finger or hold people accountable. But I think there are various ways to accountability that we can do. So.
And Valerie said Howard ain't gave him back the money he
donated.
It ain't his. It ain't his no more. That's Howard's money.
Go back to Rhonda's tweet.
One thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to actually I'm going to really create like a whole entire, like what my cancel rules are. Because I feel as though you guys, and I have no problem being canceled, Kurt, because I do believe in boycotting effectively. I believe that the black dollar matters, and where we spend that black dollar is important. And I don't want to give my black dollar in support of someone who's not going to support and benefit and care about my black ass self. But when it comes down to someone like Felicia Rashad, who has been friends with Bill Cosby for decades and has had a relationship with him for decades, I don't think that she should be censored or canceled for simply expressing support of a friend. I think that's a different line that goes there. What Felicia Rashad did is different than what some other celebrities have done, because to me, this isn't a political statement. This is a friendship statement. This is like saying, I'm defending my friend. And I would do the exact same thing. And I have done the exact same thing for the friends and people in my life. That's how I am. But again, I understand that. I just want to make that clear, to clarify and say, I have no problem canceling a celebrity or boycotting a business. But in this case, to me, Felicia would be boycotted. However, there is boycotts for being prepared to happen in the Republican Party against Liz Cheney. This is Nancy Pelosi. She is marching off to war, ready to release the January 6th commission. Vince, tell us about it.
Not she marching off to war. Oh, shoot. That was funny. Yeah. So, Capitol Hill, the everlasting soap opera, Nancy dropped the bomb on us. I definitely didn't see this coming. She put together a committee to investigate the insurrection that happened on January 6th. And a part of that committee is our fellow Republican, the rebel Republican right now, if you will, Representative Liz Cheney, which we know Liz Cheney was recently ousted from the Republican Party due to her just views in regards to Trump and the big lie, as well as the insurrection. And she was very adamant about protecting the Capitol, protecting the Constitution, and holding all those that have been involved in the insurrection accountable, that they would see just the highest form of justice. And the Republican Party was not for it, or the Republicans on Capitol Hill, rather, were not for it. So Pelosi now announcing this heavy-hitting staff committee, if you will, some people that are also, some members that are also a part of that committee. You have Benny Thompson, who is the Homeland Security Committee chairman, Adam Schiff, who is the Intel Committee chairman, and Zoe Lawford, who is the House Administration Committee chairman. It's some heavy hitters a part of this committee. So now with Liz a part of it, it's a big shakeup happening right now on Capitol Hill. So the question that I want to pose to you all, do you think that this is a move, or not a move? Is this move, rather, a win for the Democrats, or is this actually a win for Cheney? Cheney, again, has been very adamant about restoring the essence of the true Republican Party and how the Trumpicans are not true Republicans. And in the event that this goes in her favor, could this actually hurt the Democrats and make more true Republicans sort of come out of the woodwork and take their party back, if you will. So I think it's a very interesting thing that's happening right now with this. What y'all think?
So this is going to raise the credibility and the viability of Liz Cheney. Let's take a look at the fact that this is a congresswoman, a member of the United States House of Representatives from Wyoming. So number one, there isn't a huge, she doesn't have a huge base of support in the United States anyway. This is raising her national recognition and raising her national profile by her doing what's right. Let's not forget that the majority of Republicans actually believe and acknowledge that the insurrection happened. Now, the majority of them may not be in favor of a January 6th commission, but they do recognize and acknowledge that the insurrection happened. The majority of Americans, hands down, feel this way. And they also support Liz Cheney. And they value the Republicans who are actually standing up and being of moral courage to do what's right. So this is, in my opinion, is going to benefit Liz. It's going to help her if she decides to pursue other opportunities in her party as well as in the United States. It also shows that she may be one of the few Republicans who are not being controlled by puppet master Trump in this in his pre-jail period. I won't call this his post-presidency, but I call it his pre-jail period, his pre-imprisonment time. James is saying that the Republican Party is in a civil war and that they're becoming more like the Trumplicans. James, let me say this. I believe that what we see is what the news shows us. And the whole concept of these batshit crazy Trumplicans is something that absolutely appeals to the American public. We want to see this. We like to see that nonsense on television. But polls show us that the majority of Americans and the majority of people that identify as conservative Republicans are not Trumplicans. They're not. So the polls don't seem to support the notion that the Trump supporters are the Republican Party. It seems to be evenly divided, with more Republicans being anti-Trump than pro-Trump. That's what it's showing.
Do you think that McCarthy is going to strip her from her committee assignments?
Yeah, of course he's going to, and that's fine. He can do that. He's basically already done that. When she went from being the third most powerful person in the United States House of Representatives, Republican, highest ranking Republican down, he had already done that. So there really isn't a whole lot more he can do to damage her. That same thing has been done to Marjorie Taylor Greene, and we have seen no damage to her profile in the process. It only made her more popular among the Trumplicans. Him doing that is only going to make Liz Cheney more popular among traditional Republicans. So I'm certain that she's ready to welcome that. It won't hurt her at all.
But Zach, are you finding seeing more Republicans are anti-Trump behind closed doors than they are in the public eye? Because that's what I'm seeing. They don't want to speak up against him, but behind closed doors, this man is crazy. He's batshit crazy. He's a fool. We are against. I don't know where he's taking our party. But then in front of the camera, we are for him. And I'm like, why are they being hypocritical, and how are they playing both sides of the party?
You know, these people saw the same things that we saw. We sat and watched television, glued to TV on that Friday, and we didn't turn away as we saw thousands of Trump supporters go to the Capitol and play in doo-doo. We were right there. We saw them attempt to overthrow the American democracy, and they saw it, they know it's real. So when I believe, Zach, when people are out here making up these lies like it didn't happen, trying to reframe the narrative, they are liars, and they know that they are lying, and they can't forget what they saw like we can't forget what we saw. That's the facts. These Trumplicans want this to be forgotten. They want it to be for us to move on, but it's not going to happen. What they did is going to continue to echo in American politics.
So with that, Zach, what do you think can honestly come out of this committee, out of this investigation? Like we've seen time and time again, especially during the Trump administration, there's so many probes and things that happen, and justice never really happened, or they got like a light tap on the wrist, like what? And even though this was like a terrible thing that happened to our democracy, like is there anything that can really hold weight to affect anything? Like what's the point,
Maybe not, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to have popcorn waiting to see, and that's Donald Trump's testimony, because it is it has been said that he may be, subpoenaed to give a testimony. And I think that's going to be a historic moment in American history. And I will be there with my popcorn, even if I don't know half of the shit they're talking about or what's going on. I think it'll be very interesting just to see this man get on TV once again, because as you know, he has been banned from social media. He has been exiled to the furthest corner of the world. This is going to be his grand exit. And I know it's going to be a key from the start to the finish, because that is a fool. That is a fool, okay?
Donald Trump is probably looking forward to this moment just as much as you are, Darius. But
right.
I don't think he's going to get that moment. This is the thing. Let me be honest, and I believe in telling the truth and the whole truth and nothing but. This is ceremonial and it's symbolic, as Valerie is saying, and it's going to have absolutely no impact whatsoever. The whole reason why Nancy Pelosi and the Senate and House Democrats are pushing for this to happen is so that they can drag Donald Trump further through the mud and they can continuously eviscerate the Republican Party by making it known that they were responsible for this. Now, what's going to come out is this. We're going to find out that there are literally sitting members of the United States House of Representatives who supported the insurrection, who gave intel and information to the insurrectionists. We're going to find out about that. We're going to find out about Lauren Boebert. We're going to find out about what's that little man that be having sex with kids, Matt Gaetz. We're going to find out about Marjorie Taylor Greene. We're going to find those things out, Kevin McCarthy. We're going to see that. The American people are going to relive that moment ahead of the November 2022 midterm elections. Those things are all political, and that's how politics are played. And that is how Major Nancy marches off to war. And I believe that is what's going to win her this battle and keep her in control of the United States House of Representatives. And to be honest with you, I am not mad about it. And you know what, Jackson, Horatio Orange 45 is going to be dragged. And we may say it's his party, but I'm telling you, I firmly believe, James, that by 2024, we're going to have someone else emerge to be the leader of that party. Donald Trump is going to be overwhelmed with indictments. Donald Trump is going to be overwhelmed with bankruptcies. Donald Trump is going to be overwhelmed with financial ruin. He is right now sitting in Mar-a-Lago like it is Westeros. He is literally Cersei Lannister on the Iron Throne, waiting to be. Well, actually, he's way more like Joffrey on the Iron Throne, because Joffrey suffers from that mental illness in the show. So that's what that young man is like. It's just a matter of time before he is eaten alive by a dragon, and that dragon will be Nancy Pelosi in the United States House of Representatives.
Those Trump supporters, they got their Trump 2024 signs out already. They are waiting. They are ready for him to reassume the presidency.
Well, we also let me tell the viewers, we also have, in addition to our public comments, a private chat that happens. And so Darius has highlighted my abrupt interruptions. I want you to know that I am a firm believer in honoring the time, specifically of one cast member, to ensure we are at the hour. Because what I don't want to do is for him to get angry and bitter, like one of his favorite celebrities.
Before you even say,
ooh, these transitions.
Before you even touch on this, you should comment about applying to the 1 hour hour time frame, because we never do it. So let go of it.
Today, CJ, let me tell you, I try to get better.
It never happens. So just let it go. It never happens. So let it go.
I'm working on myself.
You're very close to it, CJ. Calm down.
I'm working on myself too, but you need to stop saying about it, talking about it.
Calm
CJ,
down.
I try to get better every week, and I work hard to push us forward in the spirit of Whoopi Goldberg. I try hard. I don't want to be Joy Behar. Joy Behar is a horrible moderator when she does the dang View.
Yes, she is.
I hate watching The View when Joy Behar is on The View. I miss good old
when she's moderating. When Joy's moderating.
But CJ, you have to. I know you love this woman. Get a good look.
Yes, I do like Wendy Williams, but I don't like what she said about Tabitha Brown. I don't like it. No.
When and somebody said, "What is that you put on the screen?" Child, I don't know what it is either. You tell me. You take a good look and you tell me what that is. I don't know. And she does deserve to be dragged. And let me tell you something. She gonna get a good dragging today because Wendy Williams Wendy Williams wallowed out there and sat down and she attacked Tabitha Brown. Tabitha Brown doesn't do anything to anybody except uplift and speak positivity into their lives. Tabitha Brown gets on that TikTok with that beautiful North Carolina, South Carolina, some kind of Carolina English, and she uplifts people every time. She talks to you about living vegan. She talks to you about trying to, just be a better person. And the fact that nasty, bitter, can't do nothing but tear down black people, Wendy Williams would just randomly decide to give her marriage advice when she has, to me was absolutely, it was disgusting. It was one of the most shameful moments of this woman's career. And she's had some shameful moments, from attacking Mariah Carey, from attacking Whitney Houston, from doing cocaine multiple times on multiple days on multiple nights. She's had some low moments, but this was, to me, one of the lowest.
So, yes, everyone knows I like Wendy Williams, but she was dead ass wrong for what she said. And I did not like what she said, and she attacked that poor woman for no reason. One thing I don't like about Wendy Williams is that she gets on her show and she always tries to relate her stories to someone else's story. When their marriages were two different situations, two different, situations, and it wasn't even the same caliber. So I'm glad that Tabitha Brown came back and said what she said, and she said it tastefully. She didn't get all rowdy. She didn't get all ratchet with it. She, wished her well and sent her blessings and all that good stuff. She did it real classy. She was nice, nasty about it.
Bitter party of one, your table is ready. And I have to give credit. You're right, Valerie. The Cabbage Patch. I didn't even know they existed. The Cabbage Patch came through and they tore down on everything that Wendy Williams has on social media with those avocados. I couldn't believe they had chosen the avocado to be the representative of Tabitha, but it was, to me, a beautiful moment in social media history.
I'm sorry, but y'all gonna stop acting like Wendy just attacked this woman. Oh, she attacked one like just some defenseless little person who can't hold her own. Clearly, Tabitha did a great job. Wendy, she went live and she was telling her business, and that's her business. Like she likes to say, that's because that's her business. She went live and she told her business. Wendy heard it, and in her mind, she was like, "Girl, this been there, done that. Don't do it." I don't think that Wendy was. I don't think that, of course, Wendy was being messy. She's always messy. I think that she was just giving more unsolicited advice, unsolicited opinions, just like we get up here every Monday and give unsolicited opinions about things that are prevalent in the media. And so for Tabitha to respond to that, that's her business, okay? But to act like Wendy just attacked this lady, she simply said, "Girl, wrong road, been there, done that. It didn't work out for me." That's not to say it won't work out for Tabitha. However, I think that people blew this up a little more than maybe it should have been blown up. And to Tabitha's, to her, it was a positive situation for her, because there are a lot of people who didn't even know who Tabitha was until she was mentioned on the Wendy show, and this whole thing ensued. And so I think that it's all just par for the course. She could have said nothing, but she decided to, and she did a good job delivering the message back to Wendy. And I hope that that type of love finds all of you as well and embraces you.
So you said that Wendy didn't say nothing negative when she did in reality.
I didn't say she didn't say something negative. I said she did not attack.
No, you said she didn't attack. What she did was she tried to compare her and Kevin's situation to Tabitha's situation.
That's not
knowing the fact of it. I don't see this lasting no more than 2 more years.
Right.
Whatever. So now you're saying because her and Kevin didn't work out, because now you're gonna go and focus on your career, whatever, that your relationship is not gonna work out. That's being negative. Because her relationship didn't work out.
I never said that it wasn't a negative take. I never said that she was not being messy. I never said that she was not being critical. I never said that she wasn't comparing it to her.
No, you said she wasn't being attacked.
I said that wasn't the same. I never said any of that. What I said was
that is true, Darius. You didn't say that. That is true.
I said was
I said that he was being attacked.
And
but
also,
let me tell you what you did say.
Is it unreasonable for Wendy to say from her experience, just like you gave us a take from your experience, that she knows that taking a man out of work and essentially taking care of him, she says that the dynamic is going to shift, which it will. And Tab probably does have more than 1 million followers, but a lot of people still were on social media saying they did not know who she was.
If Wendy would have just said it, if Wendy would have said it like that, like saying, "Hey, I've been down this road."
I never said she needed Wendy either.
No. What I'm saying.
Hold on, I'm addressing the comment. I never said she needed Wendy. She did not need Wendy. Tabitha has endorsements out the wazoo. Every time I get on social media, she's with Goldie.
She got a season coming out this week.
The season coming. I never said she needed her, but in terms of people recognizing her on social media, this did put her in the spotlight, and everyone knows that all press is good press. Everyone knows.
So let me say this. Hold on. So what I'm saying is that if Wendy would have just said, "Hey," if Wendy would have just said, "Hey, I've been down this road before. I seen what happened, in this situation before. It can kind of go left." I would have been okay with Wendy just saying that, but then she had to go on there after and say, "I don't see this working out. I give you guys 2 more years tops." Like, that was just a negative aspect. I think if she would just kept it as the way to begin with, just saying, "Hey, I've been down this road before. Just be careful."
She don't even have to say that. She shouldn't even have to say that. She should have got her facts first, because I think that's what messed her up. So like, you're going on here talking about somebody else's relationship without knowing the facts. And so I think that's what Tabitha had to come back and defend. Like you don't know the facts.
And that's great.
Together, I was broke. He was working. He was supporting me. Kevin wasn't doing that. You were supporting Kevin ass throughout all the relationships.
Kevin was cheating on her.
There's nothing to compare.
And that's great. That was also great to know. It's also great to hear that. And we probably would not have heard that had Wendy never addressed the situation. All that Wendy did was responded to something that she heard. And whether or not you agree with what she said is on you. That's on you.
Darius, I agree with what you're saying. Let me say this. One, yes, Tabitha Brown being mentioned on the Wendy Williams show definitely enhanced her profile and probably gained her 1 million more followers. But here's the thing. Those 1 million, I would rather have the 1 million Tabitha Brown followers in my life than the 300 million viewers that Wendy Williams wishes that she could get, because they love her, all of them. But most of the people who follow Wendy Williams, it's a love-hate relationship that may look much towards hate. So I want to say that, but also now I'm going to have to clarify. You said we do the same thing on this show. Darius, we really, I would say, I can't speak for anybody else, right? But I would say for Zachary Kirk. I try really hard to stay above the fray and never use any platform I'm given, no matter how small. Whether I have 8 people looking at what I create, or if I have 1 person looking at what I create, my mama, on her cell phone right now from her bed. I'm going to be responsible as a content creator. And what I'm not going to do is use my platform to purposely tear down people in areas that I feel they're vulnerable. And I wouldn't do that. I don't sit and troll the news to attack people in the way that I feel Wendy Williams does and how she's built a career. I believe that your platform is your responsibility. And let me tell you, I would feel very differently about Wendy Williams if Wendy Williams used her platform to improve the Black community or any community that she feels she's a part of. She may not feel like she's a part of the Black community. Maybe Wendy Williams feels as though she is a part of, Granny Panty. The Granny Panty community. If that's her community, I would still feel better about her. But all I see this woman doing is tearing down, and making a mockery of people for their own benefit. That's what I see.
Zach, I think
it's disgusting.
Let's just walk this back for a second, Zach. I never said that that's what we do on this show. I said that we give unsolicited opinions on this show each week, which is what we do. Now, in terms of the people who are soliciting our opinions, we call them our viewers, our fans. And those people tune in every Monday. And we appreciate y'all for tuning in because y'all like to hear what we have to say. In the same way, Wendy has 1.8 million people who tune in every day to see what she has to say because they like Wendy's opinions. Wendy's delivery, her style has not changed since she hit the scene, and people still continue to tune in. She continues to get renewed. That is the way that she has conducted her business, and that is what happens, and that's how it's worked for her. And so if you like it, great, watch the show. If you don't, Tune in to Five Guys on Live every Monday at 9 p.m. as we talk about all the topics that we care about. Now, let's go on to the next.
Let Vince get something to say.
Right, God damn, y'all been. Oh, let me shut up.
Vince, go ahead, Vince.
Yeah. Listen, the last time Wendy got this much flack was when she said something about the Clark sisters. So I think whenever Wendy says something about a child of God, that's when everybody want to be in the uproar. Because she really don't. She really hasn't departed from what we know her to do. She gave her, like Darius said, unsolicited advice. She do it on every show, every topic, every person, every relationship. But she attacked somebody that's a Christian and love the Lord and profess His holy name. Then everybody want to be in the uproar. Now, one thing that I just found it hilarious was that the same people that was, Wendy need to be dragged. I was trying to get tickets to the show before the quarantine happened. So, like Darius said, it's a love and hate relationship. Her viewers and her supporters just be double dutching, just like she be double dutching. So I don't want to understand their relationship and that dynamic. I don't want no parts, or what have you. But I'm glad that Tabitha stuck up for herself, and I really just appreciate the grace that she handled with everything. It was beautiful to see. It was really mature.
The day that I sit, let me tell you something, Darius Williams. The day that I sit in a Wendy Williams audience will be the day that I self-combust.
Zach, that's not what I said. I was saying that Zach is the person that said that. I didn't say that. You said that her viewers have.
Because I'm never going to go to a Wendy Williams show. I'm never going to.
Zach, she's canceled in your eyes. We know.
And one more thing I want to say, Rhonda, absolutely, she is a bitter baddie. She is jaded. She is hurt. She is heartbroken. She'd have been everything. Okay, yes, I absolutely agree with that, and all of that informs what she said about the Tabitha Brown situation. I absolutely agree. I do not condone it at all. All I'm saying is she is entitled to an opinion, and I don't think it was an attack.
I think she need prayer because I think she's depressed too. So
yes, she does need prayer. She does. Don't we all?
Zach, why are you doing this? Well, look like she having fun. She was with Ray J not too long ago.
Oh my God.
Oh goodness. Okay, Zach. Thank you, Facebook user at 9:59 p.m. What they say? Next topic, please. What else we got to talk about? Come on, y'all.
Nothing. It just hit 10 o'clock.
It is not 10 o'clock. We have 57 minutes. We have 3 minutes left. And in those final 3 minutes, you know exactly what we're going to do. What we're not going to do is this with Dr. Pickett. She might be bitter, but she ain't broke. So, no,
she's not broke. Right, far from broke.
But what we're going to do is we are going to have 365 days of Black history with today's Black History Fact. Take it away, Darius Williams.
Well, hold on before he starts talking, because y'all been okay. I just want to give a shout out to Valerie Williams. She is an MVP for me tonight. I love and adore all of her commentary. Valerie Williams, you have definitely been on it tonight. I don't know who you are, but shout out to you, Miss Valerie Williams.
She is the co-founder of a project that I am working on. She is the famed and noted Atlanta community activist, Valerie Williams.
Come on, Valerie.
And we don't agree on much.
Thank you, Valerie. It is broke.
I appreciate Valerie tonight. God bless you.
So, Darius, do tell us about the 365 Black History Fact of the Day, or Person of the Day.
You know what, Zach? Y'all caught me with my work undone again, but I did find something that I want to share, which is interesting. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the iconic cartoon character Betty Boop, but Betty Boop was inspired by a Black jazz singer in Harlem. She was introduced in 1930 as a caricature of the jazz age flapper by the name of Esther Jones, and the boop oop a doop was one of her signature vocals that was done in the Cotton Clubs in 1920, and she's also known as Baby Esther. So when you see Baby Boop, Betty Boop, just know that is the caricature of a Black woman, Esther Jones. Black History 365.
So thank you guys so much. Come on, Esther and Esther Jones. We're thankful to have that information provided, to learn more, know more, grow more. We just hit an hour. So everybody, thank you guys for joining. I need to screenshot. This is a moment in time. Thank you to everyone who joined us. We appreciate you. Can't wait to see you back next week.